Hi, I'm Sahithir from the rookie team Codo Dragons in Santa Clara, California. Today we are joined by Deja, a regional finalist and Inspire Award winner.
For team costumes and merch, what websites had the best deals and offers to purchase clothing off of?
So last year we used CustomInc.com because they let us customize stuff really easily, and they can sponsor you, or they can give you like deals sometimes. But they just made it pretty easy, like the whole shipping process and everything, because I know we used Custom Ink before in like other FLL and other robotics competitions and stuff. So they were.
So it also, like, you don't have to get a sponsorship. You can always just raise money other ways and then use that to buy shirts. And sometimes companies are more likely to give you discounts rather than free merch.
Yeah.
So if you raise like a couple $100, you can just ask for a discount. They'll probably give you like 15 to 30% off and then buy it that way.
Okay. For like teams who are just a few weeks away from competition, do you have like any last minute suggestions to help them?
Okay, I think one big thing is you should run like regular maintenance runs on your robot, like especially the motors, because these systems are like miter gears in the motor, and it's really fragile, and if we don't check up on it every like week or two, it can really like screw us over at competition. Like we know a lot of robots, their robots just couldn't move, and a lot of it I feel like was probably because of motor issues. So just make sure your robot is still going to work and still going to be consistent.
Also, failure test your robot before your competition. So test things you think might go wrong. Like, okay, can I get stuck on anything on the board?
Like one of the things we tested, we have our odometry pieces under our robot. They're odometry wheels, and we're planning on testing if we get stuck in one of these junctions, can we get out without like breaking our robot?
Pretty delicate.
So those are things like you want to brainstorm possible failure modes on your robot and test to make sure that won't be a problem during competition.
Do you recommend 3D printing any parts, and if so, which ones and for what purpose?
Oh, everything.
Any parts that are not like main chassis pieces. Like if you need to create something,
like bases, and like for a base, a foundation, a structure, we can use Go Builder parts because they're metal, they're really structured, like they're really strong, they can connect to each other really easily. But for example, this cone grabber, you're not going to find a Go Builder part for that. Our odometry casing, you're not going to find a Go Builder part for that. And like last year we made our own bucket, just so like fit our needs. We like angled it and changed like different aspects.
Also, you can if you have CAD software, you can drag. I highly recommend dragging, like importing all the parts you use, main parts. So you can go into CAD, create a model robot with your main parts, your wheels, chassis pieces, and you can create new parts, import them into that, and see how it will fit, making sure it actually works in your robot before you go into a day.
Yeah, because we didn't do that last year, and I think for our bucket we had like 13 different iterations. We just kept reprinting it to see if it would work and if it would fit.
Okay. A unique aspect we saw in your robot this year is having the motors face vertically instead of horizontally. What was like the benefits of this design?
Okay, so first off, we want a lot of space in here for either odometry mounts to go in, wires, batteries, stuff like that. This is just super helpful because that if we have a motor that's horizontally, it's taking up the same area, just vertically, which we're not using at all. But inside the channels we are using. It's like valuable space versus non-valuable space.
Do you guys want to go in depth about your robot parts, especially your intake and why you chose it?
In depth, I guess you could say, front is where all the magic happens. So we chose this design. We were inspired. We saw a video of a team who used something kind of similar, and we liked the way they were able to pick up cones with precision. We were struggling at the start because grabbers can be kind of like inconsistent grabbing around the side because the cone has a taper. So with the team that goes in and they expand once inside and able to pick it up easily. So we liked that design, and so I set to work trying to like CAD something that could work, and so we printed this, and like we've tried it with our cone aligner so that it goes every time straight in when it comes inside. And so yeah, that's why we chose that, because of the repeatability and reliability of the system. And then the rest of our robot, kind of just simple chassis stuff. We wanted something more wide this season as there was lots of space between poles. Last season we had to have a really small robot, so we wanted to have space for new things. And then the slide, we needed 3 feet of height. So Go Builder came out with a new 4-stage Viper slide that we saw, and we were immediately like, yeah, that could work, definitely. So we bought that. at the start of the season, and we set to work creating like an arm system that could attach to this.
Wait,
And
how does the purple work on top?
This?
That thing, yeah.
Yeah, so when you go up to a cone and we drive in and we align, so this flap opens or closes. Okay, that's on. So it'll go into the cone, and inside the cone there's like a edge, right? So once the flap opens, and it'll catch on that edge, picking it up and then dropping it.
Got it.
So what general aspects of programming are most necessary to learn to do well in this competition?
Okay, so I had a couple questions. I think I don't know if it's from your team, but they're asking me about multi-threading, and that is very useful. Yeah, that was you guys. Yeah, you need multi-threading. It's not required. You can do like auton without multi-threading. You can do a bunch of things without multi-threading, and we did do that for our first competition last year. But it was terrible. It's like you have to have really good communication between your drivers, and you're never gonna have that. Yeah. So multi-threading is one. Second, in auton, one thing that there are three ways you can like program your robot and stuff. You can have the odometry diagram. So you can have velocity fit, which is PID control, or you can have feed forward tuning. Last year we had feed forward tuning. It wasn't that great because we ended up doing all this tuning the night before our first competition. So that's another thing. You have to work out your timings too. You don't just assume, hey, you can get this done in an hour. No, multiply by 2. Do 2 hours. Okay? Take 2 days. It takes a lot of time. And he said, what other aspects are necessary?
Yeah.
Vision is necessary in some cases. This year will get you a lot of points, but it's not gonna. It depends because there's a lot of other ways you can score in FTC, so you have a lot of flexibility with that.
And one big thing I wanted to ask. I think if you're really looking to win, you should have odometry. Like every single good team, every team that goes to Worlds has odometry.
Odometry and pin tuning.
It's because it's consistency and autonomous. You can't really just do it with anything else. Like you need that. Yeah.
If your competition is in December, I would highly suggest focusing on other things.
Yeah.
Do you want to expand a little more on multi-threading?
Multi-threading? Okay, so have you used Scratch before?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so Scratch, the sprites in Scratch are basically multi-threading. You have your main process, which is the main program that's happening on your screen. Each sprite is a different runnable. A runnable is what a thread will run whenever you call on it. Okay? So that's basically how it works, just calling on different runnables. Like, for example, when you open up Google, that's a process, that's the main thing you're running. And opening each individual tab will be a separate thread.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you terminate a thread when you're done with it.
Okay. I think we just have outreach. We have one more. What resources are widely available and helpful when it comes to coding?
Okay, so if you're doing that tuning stuff, Roadrunner is the best. Even if you aren't using dead wheels, you can still use it for help throughout your free forward. That's what we used last year, we'll be using this year. Okay. For vision systems, FTC provides a lot of stuff in their SDK. They have a whole load of documentation if you looked at that already. So that way you can take a look at that for motor issues and stuff. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Do you recommend rookie teams use Android Studio, OnBot Java, or another platform?
Other platforms I'm not too sure about. Oh my god. Android Studio and OnBot Java are the most recommended. I'd say Android Studio first because you cannot use Vision if you're using OnBot Java.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What has been your best outreach event experience so far?
Well, we went to Cabrillo and then we were able to talk to the younger kids and then just talk to them about FTC. I think that was the most successful one.
What kind of outreach events do you recommend teams do?
Okay, one thing I recommend highly is just going to schools and spreading the word about FIRST. Because FIRST really emphasizes just spreading their ideas and inspiring others. That's really what they preach. So I think going to elementary schools, middle schools, it helps a lot. And I think one thing you should really focus on that we did not last year and we messed up on is you should outreach to STEM and non-STEM communities. So last year we went to the STEM Cabrillo program, STEM program in Cabrillo, and it was good, but we needed to outreach to communities that weren't already very experienced in STEM.
Yeah, the whole point of outreach is to expose people to FTC, robotics, and technology. So you should also think about what is the most effective way to spread what you have learned to other people who have not had the opportunity.
Any words or final advice or comments for FTC teams, especially rookie ones?
I think the first thing like the first thing everybody should do in like the first 2 weeks of the season is just plan outreach events and get funds ready. Like just get it done with early on because it can come back. later this
Don't
season.
overlook outreach because it's very hard to succeed in the competition if you don't do it. Outreach is like showing that you're learning you're applying what you learned in first to like everyday life and like allowing other people to learn from your experience. And that's what's important about outreach. So it also like helps you develop as a team, and then judges really like to see that in the competition.
And like I know a lot of teams, especially rookie teams, their goals are probably to make it to regionals, right? When you go to competition, there are only two ways, and it's either from an amazing robot game, and you're the captain of the winning alliance, or the Inspire Award. And chances are, with a rookie team, you're probably gonna get beaten by a veteran team with a robot game. So you should try to, I would say, at least, like you could get lucky and just not have like any really good teams at your competition, but. I would say, like, you won't get the Inspire without amazing outreach.
If you don't have outreach, they're not going to consider you a well-rounded team. Because a well-rounded team incorporates the, like, soft skills and the hard skills, the mechanical skills.
Thank you.